So yes, we have a lot of new faces in this group, and I'm so excited to have you here. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Missy Beavers. I have a master's degree in nutrition, and I specialize in gut and thyroid health, which is what has brought us here together in this group. It is an opportunity to find solutions to your thyroid problems by uncovering the root causes in the gut, the issues that might be triggering the problems. So every Monday, I meet with members of the Healthy Thyroid System. That is my 16-week program that I created to help you find these root causes. So it includes testing so that we can find out exactly what's triggering the many, many possibilities of things that could be inhibiting your thyroid function, or in cases of Graves, causing an over excitement and overproduction of thyroid issues. So this is my favorite day of the week because on Mondays, I meet with the members in the group and we do a coach call. And I choose the topics of that call based on the questions that are asked, based on things that the group members are struggling with, or maybe where they're stuck or something that they want clarified. And this week we had a wonderful question, and one that I'm opening up to this group with all of you because it applies to many, many women with thyroid issues. And it is a question about female hormones, but specifically the menstrual cycle and why you might feel like complete garbage during different parts of your cycle. It's most common to feel really, really bad during the bleed week. So on a menstrual cycle, that's considered day 1 when you start bleeding. And that can go anywhere from 3 to 7 days. That is considered normal. If it's going longer than that, should probably look into those hormones and see what's going on. But for many women with thyroid issues, we can feel kind of icky during that bleed week. And if that's true, it's a good thing to start looking into to see what's going on with hormones. But the number one cause I see of that is related to too much estrogen or estrogen dominance. So before I go into that, and I'm going to open some slides for you, I want to invite you to listen to this. And if it resonates with you, if you can relate to what I'm saying and you're ready to move forward to find out the root cause of your problems, then head to www.thyroidbymissy.com and you'll be invited there to book a call to chat with me or my team. We can go through testing options, program options, get you started on finding solutions to your estrogen problems. So I want to pull up a slide actually that I used on my call today. 2 slides to share some really interesting information about estrogen. By the way, if you're here live, say hi in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, say replay. Facebook loves that stuff because then it will keep showing you more of this. It's an algorithm thing. Anyway, say hi. And I love knowing that you are here. And if you have any questions as I'm talking, drop them in the comments as well. So I have an interesting statistic here. 7 times more women than men have thyroid issues. 7 times more women. So think about this in your own life and tell me if it's true. You may know lots of women with thyroid issues and maybe one man, or maybe you don't know any men with thyroid issues. In my own personal circle, I come from generations of women. I mean, generations. My great grandma, my grandma, all of my aunts, my cousins, my sister, all the people in my generations of time, women have had thyroid issues. And I can't think of a single man in that family line. So the question becomes why? Why is it women? Well, the answer is right there in bold: estrogen. Okay, so women have more estrogen than men. Why does that impact the thyroid? Well, I made a little star down below. First of all, we have to know where estrogen comes from. The ovaries are our main producers of estrogen. Since females have ovaries and men do not, that will make our estrogen levels higher. The adrenals also can produce estrogen. And then our fat tissue can produce a form of estrogen. Now, this gets frustrating because when the thyroid's not working, we are more prone to making fat tissue. So we might make fat tissue more readily than if our thyroid was working. Well, then the problem is that fat tissue makes estrogen, and now we've got more estrogen that slows down the thyroid. So it's this self-perpetuating cycle that gets really frustrating. The other thing I put on there that I just want to put a tidbit out, there is something called xenoestrogens, And they are things in the environment that look like estrogen in the body, and they're everywhere. It's things like plastics, plastic water bottles. BPA is the chemical specifically that looks like estrogen. So that is in all kinds of food packaging. It's in the lining of canned foods. It's in sprays like flame retardants that's on our furniture and our curtains and our clothes. It's in air fresheners. It's in products that we use in our bodies, shampoos, lotions. There are lists upon lists. If you want to Google xenoestrogens, you can. But eliminating those, it is important, but it can make you lose your mind because it's everywhere. So I'm a bigger fan of helping the body know how to detox these things. Obviously, limit exposure where you can, but then train your liver to detox these things, your liver and gut, so that they don't impact the thyroid. So the question is, how does estrogen impact the thyroid? What exactly is it doing that's causing these issues? And I have the answer on the next slide. So let's take a look. High estrogen causes the liver to overproduce thyroid binding globulin. So this is a protein that is made in the liver. You might have heard of it before. Your doctor may have tested it for you. If they did, that's awesome. It's not a commonly run test. But this protein, like I said, it's made in the liver, and its job is to bind to thyroid hormones that don't need to be used. So the name is perfect for what it does: thyroid binding globulin. So let's say that you are producing, your brain is telling your thyroid, your TSH is telling your thyroid to make T4. So you're producing T4, okay? Your T4 has to convert into T3 before the cells can use it. Now that's done in the liver, it's done in the gut, it's also done in the cells. So let's say that you're doing that okay. You're converting that okay. So you've got T3, but then you've got really high estrogen, maybe from birth control pills, maybe from exposures to toxins, maybe from stuff going on in your gut, maybe from stuff going on in your liver. So you've got high estrogen. Well, that high estrogen is producing this globulin that then is sticking to your T3. So that T3, there might be pretty good levels of it. And if we checked your total T3, we might see that there's a lot of it. We might say, oh, wow, that T3 is really good. There's a ton of it in the blood. Well, the total T3 test is my least favorite because it doesn't differentiate between the T3 that can actually get into the cells and the T3 that's stuck with a little monkey on its back so that it can't get into the cells. And you can think of thyroid binding globulin like that. It's like having, something on your back so you can't get through the door. It's too big. So the total T3 test will tell us all the T3, but we want to know free T3, which will tell us the T3 that's unbound, that's available to the cells. So that's a little hint on testing. So if you have high estrogen, you have high thyroid binding globulin, now your T3 is not getting into the cells. So that lowers the thyroid hormone that's actually available to the cells. And the symptoms it causes are hair loss, fatigue, weight gain, allergies, low libido, constipation, et cetera, et cetera. So as I read that list, those sound a lot like thyroid symptoms, don't they? And they are thyroid symptoms in a sense that the thyroid's not getting into the cell, but it's not specifically a thyroid problem. As I showed you, your brain might be telling your thyroid well, your thyroid might be making the hormones well, but the high estrogen is preventing the hormones from getting to the cells. So adding in more thyroid hormone may not fix the problem, and it might cause a bigger issue with the liver and with the communication with hormones. So understanding what's going on with the liver and the gut is essential. And when it comes to estrogen, this is often high because of, first of all, the things I explained, potentially ingesting too much or being exposed to too much. But then the second issue is the liver and the gut may not be filtering and excreting the estrogen that's in your body. So within the healthy thyroid system, that's the question that I want to answer. Are you excreting your estrogen appropriately? Is it getting filtered through your liver? Is it making it into your bile, which then goes into the gut? And then do you have the right balance of bacteria in your gut to help move it out of your gut through your poop? Chances are, if you have thyroid issues, that might be a thumbs down. And I see that happen a lot in my own case as well. I had really big problems with estrogen dominance because I wasn't cleaning it out through my liver and my gut. If you've lost your gallbladder, it makes this process a little bit harder, and potentially you'll need some support to help move that that bile and that estrogen out of the body, which we absolutely can do. We can support the gut like that. So this is something to think about. It's something to be aware of if you're having symptoms of estrogen dominance. In fact, let me pull up that slide so I can show you what that looks like, what the symptoms look like, because a lot of them do look like thyroid. They look like thyroid symptoms, but it might actually be related to estrogen that's slowing down the thyroid. So here's some of the symptoms. Endometriosis, very common problem for women with autoimmune issues, especially like Hashimoto's Graves. This will come with it sometimes. PMS, irregular periods, fibroids or ovarian cysts. PCOS, again, is very common with thyroid issues. I myself had a PCOS diagnosis for a while, which was reversed when we fixed this problem. Cellulite, many of us struggle with that. Lumpy breasts, that can be breast tissue that is either fibrocystic, so it kind of feels like ropes, or you might have lumps. That has been an issue in the past for me as well. That happens with a lot of clients who have estrogen dominance. Infertility is a big one, obviously, because these hormones are essential to maintain and carry a pregnancy. So knowing if your body is cleaning these hormones correctly. And then thyroid nodules, estrogen dominance will contribute to that. There's also a list down here below: hot flashes, fatigue, menstrual cramps, headaches, weight gain, heavy periods, specifically if there's clots, heavy bleeding that goes on for a long time, depression, and then of course the thyroid problems, which is what brings us here today. So if anything on that list speaks to you, if you resonate with this conversation we're having, then it could be a great idea to do some testing to find out what's going on with your gut and your liver that potentially is creating these issues. So within the healthy thyroid system, we start with a simple urine test. Everyone starts here. This urine test will check for over, I think we're at like 95 markers. They keep adding stuff. 95 things that could be going wrong with your liver, that could be creating issues with your hormone balances. It will show me potential bacteria, yeast, fungus, mold, things in the gut that will cause you to either recycle estrogen or not clean it out accurately or adequately. It helps us better understand what's going on in your gut that could be slowing down your thyroid conversion and the ability of your thyroid hormones to get to the cells. So it helps us discover why, instead of just throwing medications at it or seeing the doctor more, or relying on a TSH test, which is not reliable. So when you're ready to get deeper answers and to find these solutions in less than 4 months, I would be so thrilled to have you in the program. You can start by going to www.thyroidbymissy.com, book a call with me or my team. We'll chat about testing. We'll chat about the program. We can get you rolling right now, start getting you answers. So head over there. And then if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, you have questions, drop them here in the comments. I'll swing back by, happy to answer them. And I will talk with you soon. Bye for now.